All right, um, guys, let's look at number one. And the first thing we're doing, we're multiplying radicals. So these are gonna. I'm kind of got them in order with difficulty. So the top ones are easier. All right, so number one. Okay, anytime that you're multiplying radicals, anytime you're multiplying radicals, here's the rule. Okay, you can multiply inside times inside, and you can multiply outside times outside. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means to be inside, that means the number is inside the radical. Okay. To be outside it means to be a multiplier on the outside. Okay. So, say for instance, if you got 3 square root of 10, say that 10 is an inside number. Okay. 3 is an outside number. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now, so same thing goes here. Now we've got, guys, if you don't see a number here, that means there's a 1 here in front of the square root. Okay. 1 times the square root of 10, 1 times the square root of 8, but it doesn't change anything, so it doesn't show up. Now, so we got two inside numbers, so we need to multiply those. That's going to be the square root of 80. 8 times 10 is 80. Okay. Now, very important. You can't leave it like this. Okay. You got to simplify. So you must simplify. Okay. So now that's going to be 2 and 40, 2 and 20, 2 and 10, 2 and 5. Okay. So I broke it down. Okay. And now I'm circling pairs of the same number. Okay. So bring out that 2 there. All right. Now we got a 5 that's left over. So where's that going to go? Inside. Good. So it's going to be 2 times 2. And then the 5 goes inside. All right. So 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 5. Okay. Guys, when you're doing a single times a single like that, single radical times a single radical, that's pretty much straightforward. But let's look at number 5. A lot of times, this is probably one of the number one missed problem on a radical test. Um, we, Leo, will you shut that door? 'Cause make sure it's locked too. If you don't mind. Pretty sure I locked it. Okay. Um. Now, guys, in uh in the math that you done so far, what do you usually do when you have parentheses like this? You distribute, right? So you're going to distribute, which is multiplication. Okay, now these are all of these guys are inside numbers except this 2 right here. Now that's a 1 outside of here, and that's a 1 outside of here. So just anytime you don't have a number shown, it's a 1. Okay. Now, so that's going to be 1 times 1. It's 1. 15 times 10 is 150. Okay. So inside times inside, outside times outside. All right. Now, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And then 15 times 6 is the square root of 80. Now, what we need to do here, guys, we need to break this down. Now, this is subtraction, so if I can break these down, and get these radicals to be the same, the number underneath the radical to be the same, I can subtract those. But I don't know if it'll work out, but here we go. All right. That's what the number's called that's underneath. Yeah. All right. Now, we've got a group of 5. Okay. All right. Now, and we've got a 2 times 3 that needs to go back on the inside. 2 times 3 is 6. So 5 squared is 6 is square root of 150 simplified. Now, let's do this 80 here. That's 2 and 40. Now, I've got a couple pairs here. I've got a pair of 2s there, a pair of 2s here. I got a 5 that goes back on the inside. So that's going to be 5 squared is 6 minus. Now, what you have, guys, you have a negative 2 out here. Okay? So what that's going to be is this. It's write your negative 2 that you already have. Okay? So bring that negative 2 down. Okay? And then you're going to bring the ones that you circled on the outside. Now, guys, remember, these 2's, I brought those down here, okay? Now, so what that's going to be is 5 squared root of 6. And then if you multiply this, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Or minus 8, either one. However you want to say it. Now, your radicand or the number underneath the radical is not the same, so that's as far as you can take it. And guys, you could also check it with the calculator here, just like you normally do. Now here's our final answer here, down at the bottom. Okay, our original is up here, so you type it in just like you see it. So it'd be square root of 15, parentheses, square root of 10. Now I wrote a 1 there, but we know that 1's already there, so I won't have to do that. So minus 2 square root of 6. All right, so I put that in there just like I see it. Press enter. That gives me negative 6.72. Okay. Now, I'm going to put my original or my answer in there just like I see it. Don't do that. Make sure you come out underneath the radical. Minus 8 square root of 5. Now, so something's wrong, okay? So we've got 5 square root of 6 minus 8 square root of 5, okay? So now, notice these are different. So something's wrong, okay? Let's see. All right, 10. Let's see what we got. All right, so let's see what's wrong. All right, so we multiplied 15 times 10 and got 150, okay? We multiplied 15 times 6 and got 80. All right. So we did 6. That's right. 5 squared is 6. Then we did 80, 2 and 40, 2 and 20, 2 and 10, 2 and 5. Put that back on the inside. 2 times 2 is negative 8. I might have to come back to it. I'll check it. But something's wrong because our um our answer's not right. Okay, so let's go to the next. I'll come back and we'll check it so we don't take so much time up. I'll have to go back and look, then I'll show you. Um okay, let's look at number 7. Okay. Um guys, there's different ways you can do this. I like cleaning it up first. Okay. If you can clean it up, it makes it a lot easier. Okay. Now, guys, you can rewrite this as this: 4/5 times the square root of 4 over the square root of 5. Okay. I can rewrite that. Now, guys, there's several ways to do it. I'll show you another way here in a minute. But guys, this is the same as 4/5 times the square root of 4 over the square root of 5. Okay. Now, but what do we know about this number here? That's a perfect square, right? So that's the same as 4/5 times 2 over the square root of 5. Okay? All right, now we're going to multiply straight across. That's 8. Elijah, y'all going to have to stop talking. I hear you on out the side of my ear. All right, now, so that's what we get. Now, square root of 5 is not a perfect square. You can't leave it in the denominator. Okay? So this is what you're going to have to do. Whatever radical's in the denominator, you're going to have to multiply the top and bottom by that number. Okay? So notice I multiply top and bottom by the square root of 5. If I do this, anything over itself is 1. So that's not going to change the value of my equation at all. Now I'm going to bring this down here. Okay? Now, so what I've got is 8 5 square root of 5 times square root of 5 over the square root of 5. Now, guys, this is an outside number. This is an inside number. I can't multiply that, but I can do this. I can write it side by side like this. Okay? And write it as a multiplier like that. All right, now, outside times outside, 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 5 on the inside of here, 5 times 5 is 25. But now, what do we know about the square root of 25? Perfect square, right? That's the same as square root of 25 is 5. Okay? So this, guys, what I did was I took the square root of 25 and made it 5. Okay? Because, guys, remember, the one thing you cannot have a radical in your denominator. So you got to clean that up. All right, now, that becomes 8 square root of 5 over 25. Now, if you get to a problem where this can be simplified, if that can be brought to a lower terms, you have to simplify that. All right. Don't mess with the radical on the inside, but make sure to simplify the fraction on the outside. Do you guys want me to show you the other way to do this or no? What y'all think? That's a little bit longer way, but I mean it'll work. I'll let you see for yourself. If you can write it down if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. All right. What? Let me finish this first. Now, so guys, we got a radical in our denominator. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of that radical first. That's 4 square root of 20 over 25. RJ, you're a nasty guy, man. Now, guys, how I got 25? Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. That's how I got this. Okay? You can actually put that in your calculator and get the same thing. Okay? Put that in your calculator. If you're just not sure, put that in your calculator. 5 square root of 5. That's where I got 25. Okay? Um, now this 20 here, you have to break it down. So I'm gonna break it down here. 2 and 10, 2 and 5. All right, now I've got a pair of 2's here. Bring one of those out. Now you're going to rewrite this. Now there's a 4 already here. Move this calculator. There's a 4 already there. So 2 times 4 gives me 8. The 5 goes back in. That's another way to do it. It's just one's about as long as it is wide, I guess. All right. Let's look at 11. 11 is pretty easy. I want you guys to be able to like spot stuff and see that and make it a lot easier. Now, what a lot of people is going to do is they're going to look at this and say, I've got a radical in the denominator, so I can't. I'm going to have to rationalize my denominator. Well, you really don't have to do that because, guys, what's the square root of 16? It's 4, right? So what you've got on the bottom is 5 times 4. Okay? Now, can I break down the square root of 6? There's the prime factors of 6, right? Do I have a pair? No, so it can't be broken down. So that's actually your answer here. So make sure you pay attention to perfect squares and stuff. And another thing too, if you're not that good with it, put your denominator in your calculator. If you're not sure, save you a ton of work. And plus, it's more likely to be right if you clean it up at first. Say if you didn't know, you say I'm gonna see what 5 squared of 16 is. Press enter. There's your 20. That will go right here. So you could always check it in the calculator and see is it a perfect square. Okay. All right, guys. I've been talking a while. Why don't we do this? I'm gonna let you guys work on 1 through 14, and then probably around 9:05, something like that. We'll look at 15 through 18. Okay, because I know it gets boring just talking. All right. All right. So I'm gonna let you guys work on 1 through 14. If you have questions, let me know. All right. I may try to grade you guys' test real quick, so I'm still grading those.